It was excellent. I loved it. I had a great experience with you, me, and P at the cinema. We watched it with all the people, and it was just a great experience. People were hollering. We were enjoying so many great moments in there. So yeah, I had a thoroughly great time. Definitely a hit. Hit, hit, hit.
And welcome back to another Chatterbox movie review. I'm Sean, and as usual, I've got my main partner in crime with me today, the one and only, the multi-talented Mr. Actor. It's the ladies' love, Andre. What are you saying?
Yo, what's going on? All good, all good.
Yeah, no, good to be here with you, man. Really been looking forward to doing this review. Been buzzing ever since we went to go and watch the film in the cinema, which was an absolutely excellent experience. All three of us loved it. And yeah, I can't wait to start talking about this film because we've got lots to get through. So without further ado, let's jump right in and start with the first question, which is, after the success of KGF Chapter 1, do you think Chapter 2 was a hit or was it a miss for you?
Easy answer, which is yes, it's a hit, 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 hit. It was excellent. I loved it. I had a great experience with you, me, and P at the cinema. We watched it with all the people, and it was just a great experience. People were hollering. We were enjoying so many great moments in there. So yeah, I had a thoroughly great time. Definitely a hit. Hit, hit, hit.
Yeah, and I'd have to follow up with that by saying I 110% agree with you that it was definitely a hit because, boy, the atmosphere, wow, it was
Mm.
amazing. Well, we might as well jump right into the second question from here. So, we saw some fantastic characters returning to the big screen in KGF Chapter 2. As you know, we saw the return of characters such as Rocky, Raveena, Garuda. But which of the new characters stood out for you? Because I'm really interested to hear what you got to say about that one.
The villain, one of the villains, main villain, whatever you want to call him, Sanjay Dutt, Adhera, I think his name was. He was excellent, and he was a menace, and he had a lot of memorable moments in this movie. And yeah, man, he shot up Rocky, like, and he killed. It was him, yeah. He killed the girlfriend, the pregnant girlfriend. This is a spoiler review. It was madness, madness. I was like, boy, you're gonna get it. But yeah, he was great. My favorite, man, one of my favorites.
Yeah, do you know what? I cannot disagree. I thought he was fantastic. He brought a new energy to the franchise. I thought he really stood out clearly. He was menacing. He was really convincing in the role that he was playing. You know, being his arch nemesis, and you know, he had some really big moments throughout the film. I mean, between the two of them as well, it was so intense. So.
Mm.
Yeah, hats off to him, man. He was excellent.
And I did want to quickly say as well, Adhera, I did love his look with the beard and the
Oh
bald
yeah,
head,
yeah,
shaved head. I think that was a crisp look he had. I loved it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of characters, we couldn't do a KGF review clearly without speaking about the main man, Yash. I mean, his return to the role of Rocky, which I thought, you know, had a slightly more personal take on the character. I mean, did you enjoy that aspect? You know, what did you make of Yash's performance in Chapter 2 in comparison to Chapter 1?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. He got to do different things. I felt like it in this movie because he was like he's a great character, a great actor in terms of like he had like obviously he's got the poses and he's got the swagger and he's an action man, but he's also funny. There was lots of funny moments in that, so he could do the comedic stuff in that and the romance kind of stuff as well. And then he can be really menacing and brutal. And you know, he had some fights and stuff like that. So he had all kinds of different stuff to play with as an actor, which is always what you want in a character. And he got that in this movie, and I think he was just excellent. He's obviously a star, and he's great.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. For me, I mean, I agree with you there, obviously, but one of the things that I really gathered from chapter 2 was that there seemed to be an element of, I suppose, connection with him and you know, the people that was around him. Like, I remember there was the young boy who died. I agree with you with all of what you said there, but then also I think there was an element where we got to see a slightly different side of Rocky in this film. You know, the connection that he had with different characters. I mean, Rena, clearly, you know, her being with his child, you saw them develop more of a close bond throughout the film. And there was a boy whose mum didn't want him to go and fight to protect the town, and you know, you could really see that he cared about this boy. You know, he didn't really know him, but he felt like all of the people was his people, and I felt like that side of him played out in a little bit more depth within the second film or slash chapter 2. So that was nice to see because that dynamic played out. Obviously, you still had the action element that came with it as well, and the rivalry with his nemesis. But I just think there was a lot of different emotions that he displayed and portrayed throughout his performance of Rocky. So yeah, I really was impressed by him. And even since the first film, I mean, I've been a big fan of his, and I can see why he's a superstar, to be honest, especially after watching the second film. So yeah, excellent. We had great action, had great cinematography and fantastic sets, to name a few. But which aspect in this second film stood out for you the most?
Which aspect stood out for me? I did really like the visuals. I did really like. There was a moment that stood out for me in terms of the ending, basically, or very close to the ending when he's on that ship, and it's just like the weather and the rain, and he's just drinking, and the visual is just. It just looks beautiful, and then all the rockets or whatever's coming down towards him and stuff like that. I just think that shot was beautiful, and that stood out for me, and I loved it, man. And he's just there drinking, and it's like he's going to his supposed death. So yeah, that was, I think, yeah, that stood out for me.
Yeah, that was quite an epic scene, to be fair. Now, I thought KGF Chapter 2 was a little bit slow in the beginning, but what did you make of the story and the build-up?
Well, like you said, it was slow. I remember being in there and watching it and thinking, yeah, this has great moments, but something's missing. It's not as good as the first movie. That's what I was thinking for the first half. And then the second half came, and then it changed it. So I think, yeah, there was moments. I think what it was there was lots of moments of posing. You know, when somebody does something or makes an entrance and it's cool, and it felt like they wrote it specifically for people to cheer. But there was a little too much of those stuff in place of story and other stuff like that. That's what I felt for the first one, because there was there was great moments in that first half as well that I really enjoyed. But yeah, there was a lot of those posing and stuff like that. But yeah, the second half though, then it just picked up, and it was just great to the end. And it was a masterpiece from then on, basically. Like the stuff with the mum, and I love that they bring back the mum and showing the connection there. It was just excellent. Loved that. So yeah, there was lots of moments. I'm just reading some notes that I took down, and yeah, I think that's all the stuff I had about storylines. No, there's one more. It was about what else was, I think, for me, that I felt why I felt it wasn't as good in the first half is because he was no longer an underdog. Like in the first movie chapter, he's an underdog, but this one he's on top. So it might have not felt as good, you know, because you're like, he's already there. That's how it was for me, I think, in certain aspects. So,
like,
but
he's
then
made it already.
But then stuff happened that kind of put him down again anyway.
Yeah.
So that helped as well. So yeah, that's what I think maybe helped as well, all those explanations. I hope that was clear for the people out there watching.
Yeah. No, I've got to say, I can't really add anything to that because that's exactly what I thought. As I said, the beginning was slow, but then it really picked up well. And they definitely delivered. So now, this question, I'm sure you probably like because it will probably give you some good memories. But I have to ask you, what was your favorite and least favorite moment from the film and why?
My favorite moment was the last fight between Rocky and Adhira. It was so brutal. I loved it. It was visceral, brutal. They were running to each other. It was intense. They were angry. They just wanted to kill each other, and yeah. Well, I just loved it. I was there watching. I was like, yeah, and it was continuing. I was like, yeah, and it was great. I loved it in the cinema. I was just watching it. It just felt, it's a weird thing to say, but it just felt so good watching them beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And the way it was done. So I just loved it. Yeah. And my least favorite was it Rena getting pregnant and then them shooting her. That was like, as a writing thing, I was like, come on, man. Was it really necessary to? There's all kinds of things you could have done. I was like, come on. It felt. No, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I can't go either way if it was needed or not. It was done and it affected me, so maybe that's a good thing that they did that. But I just didn't. Yeah, it was my least favorite thing, like, because it just hurts too much. So
yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's definitely fair enough. Everyone's gonna have their moments that impacted them in different ways, so that's fair enough. My favorite moment was when he trapped him in the desert when he went and got all the guns. And he said, "I don't seek violence; violence seeks me," or something like that. That was such a wicked scene. As for my least favorite moment, I didn't really have one, to be fair. I'll probably have to think a lot harder than this review. So sorry, guys. When I think of it, maybe I'll do it in the chapter 3 review. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But we couldn't do a Chatterbox review without asking the question, was there anything you would have done different? Now, I suppose that sounds a little bit odd because you just said your least favorite moment, and I'm not sure if that ties into it, but I'll give you the floor and let you tell me.
You know what? It's like I said, I'm kind of conflicted on that. Still my least favorite, but in terms of what would I have done different, it was the arena and it was their Rocky and the relationship. I think I would have done more with it. I would have shown it more, their budding relationship throughout the movie. And I don't think it's the because they did show them interacting throughout the movie, but I mean as relationship throughout the movie, because I think they showed like a little music video type thing, and it felt kind of rushed to show their love and stuff like that, when they could have done it throughout the movie, sprinkled it throughout the movie. I would have done that, really and truly. I think, that's what I would have.
And I would 100% agree. I think I said that to you guys, I think even on the night when we came out, I said that's one thing I think they could have done better, is probably explored that relationship a bit more. Because she was a really likable character. So I just think they could have just used her a bit more. But, it is what it is. That's the direction they chose to go. I'm sure there's reasons for it. But yeah, that's our thoughts on that. So last question I'm going to ask you is, how excited are you about chapter 3?
I can't wait. I will, as soon as it's out, I'll be there again in the cinema watching it with everyone, because I can't wait. When I came back, because I left, then I saw people stop and go back in. Some people in the cinema. I was like, "What's going on?" So I went back in and I saw after credit scene, and then when I saw it was coming, like the folder, and I was like, yeah, chapter 3. I was like, yes. I was so happy. Yes. What is it? What are they gonna do? I was reading something about, I think, the director and Yash was giving an interview, and they were saying, we've got ideas, but we don't know the story yet. But we've just got certain ideas for free, basically, and soon they'll start writing it or whatever. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with it, like, because I think they couldn't do certain things because they were filming during COVID and stuff like that. So if they have more freedom now, they can do more of the stuff that they want to do. So that will be great. So cannot wait for chapter 3.
Yeah, 100%, man. Cannot wait. buzzing already, and it's probably not going to be out for like another year or two, but you know, we just have to wait patiently and hope they do us proud again. So that is our review. We're not going to give our star rating here because we did give a star rating immediately as we left the cinema. And as you know, we gave it 5 stars because we really enjoyed it. We thought it was fantastic execution and delivery all around, from the producers, the actors, the director, everyone involved, you know, the screenplay writers. So, you know, it was fantastic. And we can't wait for chapter 3 to be here for us. We may have to wait a year or 2, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. Well, hopefully it will be worth it. Fingers crossed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know, don't forget we've got a Patreon which you can sign up to support us for exclusive reactions, watch-alongs. You can do requests because we've got a tier for that. So yeah, take care. Peace and love from us at Chatterbox.